life was a crummy and terrible thing back then. People had taken on this kind of very fatalistic concept of party now because you're going to die later, or either that or repent because you're about to die. So it was either, ooh, have a great time, you're going to die, or, oh my God, Jesus, forgive me, I'm going to die. In any case, they were a very popular series of illustrations called the Dance of Death. You're familiar with the Day of the Dead in Mexico, yes? These illustrations of the Dance of the Dead were somewhat similar. It was celebrating the concept that we're all going to die no matter who you are, rich or poor, a noble knight or a lowly vassal, you are going to meet the big one. The illustrations actually showed death, our figure here, luring a pope to the grave by making him accept and dance around in this kind of lurid, provocative stuff, dance himself into hell. They have another one where it talks about a wealthy lord or a knight, and death comes to visit him, and death tells him, your sword won't help you, your armor can't shield you from me, or I will take you to the grave, and he lowers this knight into the grave. And over time, these illustrations sort of shifted to a concept which I'm introducing you to here called Death and the Maiden. How many of you have heard of Death and the Maiden before? Raise your hand if you have.
Me.
All right, one person. I knew, yes, one other person. I'm surprised you have heard of Death and the Maiden. Where did you hear about Death and the Maiden? Oh, I see a likely story. How about you? Where did you hear Death and the Maiden? Well, very fascinating. In any case, Death and the Maiden was a concept that became more and more popular as the Renaissance continued. In fact, it was of those illustrations
really
the most reused and reused and reused. In fact, it was still being used up in the 1920s, 1910. I think it had something to do with the mindset of World War I being this very horrible, wretched time to be alive. They brought back some of the same principles. So I'm going to show you these illustrations that were done. And the first one is in 1517 that go all the way up to 1910. And the reason why I put the helmet on our friend here is because if you look at one of them, this is my personal favorite one. I'll pass it around so you can see it. Here, start this off this way, and just is kind of like the guy in the leather jacket who does bad things. He's not yet. In fact, every time you interrupt, I'll forget what I'm saying. I'll have to go back, so you'll wait.
Badass.
Death is a badass, essentially. He's sophisticated. He's sophisticated. He lures young girl to her death. This concept is so appealing that the Germans really make a lot of illustrations of it. In fact, one of them there. Gentleman with the name of Hans Von. And I will shut the lights off.
Wrong one. Okay then. Lovely.
Looking like a